Namaste, dear students. Welcome back. So, hope all of you are doing good. So, as I said, I have done 5 basics problems in liquidation of companies. So, now today I am moving to the next level of problem. So, it is not completely advanced, but next level. So, little bit advanced than the problem which you have solved in previous 5 problems. Okay, so the problem illustration number 6. So let us look into the problem. Following is the balance sheet of Yukti Company Limited as on 31st 12 2019. So they have given the balance sheet of Yukti Company Limited. So that is the previous year balance sheet, 31st 2019. So here he has liabilities and amount, assets and amount columns are there. In liability side, the first item says a share capital. Under that, authorized, subscribed, issued and paid up capital. Under that, point number 1, that is point A, says 4,006% preference of rupees 100 each. That means 4,000 preference shares of rupees 100 each. So 4,000 into 100, 4 lakh rupees amount column. Point B, 2,000 equity shares of rupees 100 each and rupees 75 paid up. That means there are 2,000 equity shareholders. So till now they have paid only 75 rupees. They have not paid other 25 rupees. So that means you might assume that they have paid till first call. So they have not yet paid rupees 25 of second and final call. So it might be because the company is not yet called up. So the company had called till the first call only. So that is why 75 rupees paid up. So 2000 into 75 rupees. So that comes to 1,50,000 rupees. Next point C, we have 6,000 equity shares of rupees 100 each. So 6,000 equity shares, the face value is 100. But at the rupees 60 paid up, only 60 rupees has been paid. The same way you can assume that the company have to make a call of rupees 40 of second and final call. So the company had called till the first call only. Clear? So 6,000 into 60, 3,60,000. Next, 5% debentures. In bracket is clearly said having floating charges on all assets. So debenture is secured. That is what floating charges means. It is floatingly secured. So how much that is? 2 lakh rupees. So next, interest outstanding on debentures is 10,000 rupees. Creditors 2,90,000 rupees. So when you look at the asset side, so in the asset side we have land and buildings 2 lakh rupees, plant and machinery 5 lakh rupees, patents 80,000 rupees, stock 1,10,000 rupees, debtors 2,20,000 rupees, cash at bank 60,000 rupees, profit and loss account 2,40,000 rupees. So both the side total of the balance sheet is 14,10,000, 14,10,000. So further he has given the adjustment. So the adjustments are, on the above date the company went into liquidation. The dividends on preference shares were arrears for 2 years. See, the above date only the company went into a liquidation. The dividend on preference shares were arrears for 2 years. That means from past 2 years, preference dividend on preference shares is not yet paid. That is outstanding. That arrears are payable on liquidation as per that article of the company. So that 2 years outstanding dividend, that is profit distributable among preference shareholders has to be paid on on the closure of liquidation or on closing of company. Clear? So that is on liquidation we are supposed to pay that. In continuation, he said that creditors includes a loan of rupees 1 lakh on mortgage on land and buildings. So that creditors whatever he has given, that is 2,90,000 rupees, in that 1 lakh rupees is mortgaged, that is secured on land and building. So after that he said assets realized as follows. So land and building has been sold, that is land and building rupees 2,40,000. That means land and building has been sold for rupees 2,40,000. Plant and machinery sold for rupees 4 lakh, that is it has been sold for 4 lakh realized value. Patents rupees 60,000, stock rupees 1,20,000, debtors rupees 1,60,000. So these are all realized value is nothing but the sold value of those assets. Okay. Then the liquidation expenses, that comes to the expenditure part. The liquidation expenses amounted to rupees 21,800. So there is an expenditure which is on liquidation 21,800, and the liquidator is entitled to a commission of 3% on all assets realized. On all the assets realized, 3% commission we are giving, and 2% on amount distributed among unsecured creditors. So 2% on unsecured creditors. Then preferential creditors amounted to rupees 30,000 rupees. So preferential creditors he has given 30,000 rupees. All payments were made on 30th June 2020. So all the payments we are making on 30th June 2020. So prepare liquidator's final statement of accounts. So this is the problem which has a bit more number of items and the same way calculation. So there is not much complications in this problem. So you can understand very well if you have practiced those basics 5 problem very well. So then you can understand this problem very easily. So we'll start with the solution part of this particular problem. So I am starting the solution. Illustration number 6. Okay, solution for illustration number 6 I am started with. So let me start the table. So what we are going to prepare? Yes, liquidators final statement of accounts. Liquidators final statement of accounts. So next, open the table. Since the problems is bit lengthy, so then automatically your table should also be lengthy. Okay. So I'm almost drawing a table like full page, so that if the problem goes on lengthy also, we should not feel congested to make entries. Okay. Liquidators final statement of accounts. So you can make that entry clearly. So next I'm going to start to write the headings. So that is particulars rupees, particulars rupees. Okay, we are ready with the table. So shall we begin the solution? Yes. Fine then. First heading as usual. Yes, realization of assets. Realization of assets. Underline that. Under that, point A. Surplus value of secured assets. Surplus value of secured assets. So now you should know which are all the assets has been secured, then only we can do that, we can calculate that. Okay, so here in the problem he clearly said that creditors includes a loan of rupees 1 lakh on mortgage on land and building. Clear? So the asset land and building is mortgaged on the creditors for how much? For 1 lakh rupees. Correct? For 1 lakh rupees. So then surplus value we have to identify. So land and building I am writing here so that you should not get confused. Land and buildings. What is the realized value? 2,40,000 in the adjustment, minus how much it has been secured for? 1 lakh rupees, a loan of rupees 1 lakh. Clear? So that is secured creditors. Secured creditors 1 lakh rupees. So now deduct 2,40,000 minus 1 lakh, 1,40,000. So that we got it. 1,40,000. Correct? So next B, point B. So I am writing free assets here. Why free assets? Because these assets are not secured. That is why it is called free assets. That is why it is called free assets. So now one by one we are going to enter. So first I am going to write plant and machinery. Plant and machinery realized for how much? Check out plant and machinery. Realized value, that is in the adjustment. Realized for 4 lakh, correct? 4 lakh. Inner column I am writing 4 lakh rupees. Then I have a patents, correct? That is also realized. Patents has been realized for 60,000 rupees. So 60,000 I have written. Next, stock. So we have a stock over here. It has been realized for 1,20,000 rupees. 1,20,000 rupees stock. Then we have a debtors. So right, debtors. Debtors has been realized for 1,60,000 rupees. 1,60,000 rupees. So these are all the assets has been realized. Clear? So then we have cash at bank. We have a cash at bank in the problem. So how much cash at bank? You should take this. Clear? Only we are not going to consider cash at bank when we are calculating liquidators remuneration on assets realized. We don't consider cash, but otherwise we consider cash everywhere. Why I am adding cash here? Because it is also an asset to the company, but it cannot be realized because cash is already in the liquid form. Okay, so look at in the previous question balance sheet, how much cash has been given. Cash at bank, he has given 60,000 rupees. How much? 60,000 rupees is there cash at bank. Okay, so now total this 60,000. Now total put together, then write. Okay, total this and identify and start writing. So let us total 4 lakh 4 lakh plus we have 60,000 plus 1,20,000 plus 1,60,000 plus 60,000. So how much we have? 8 lakh rupees, correct? So we got 8 lakh rupees. 8 lakh. So I have written 8 lakh rupees. So next what we are going to do, we have recorded all the income, that is what all we have received. So now we have to record all the payments, clear, to whom all we are paying. So first one we always write, yes, secured creditors. See, we don't show any secured creditors because we have already paid here. 1 lakh rupees cleared out of 2,40,000. 1 lakh rupees is cleared, 1,40,000. Clear. So in some books, in some other colleges, they might show here 2,40,000 and they show 1 lakh rupees as a secured creditors here. In both the side they will show 2,40,000 here, instead 1,40,000 they'll show directly 2,40,000 as a land and building, and secured creditors 1 lakh rupees they will show. That is also correct, but it is very easy because you will get to know when you write secured asset, there is a secured creditors. So you are going to deduct that. You have cleared that secured creditors payment. So the balance I am writing here 1,40,000. So secured creditors has been cleared in this level only. So we are not showing any secured creditors here. Okay. So then immediately we are going to write liquidation expenses. Correct. Liquidation expenses. How much liquidation expenses has been given in the problem? The liquidation expenses amounted to rupees 21,800. So I am writing that 21,800 directly here. Okay. Then the liquidator is entitled to a commission of 3% on all assets realized and 2% on amount distributed among unsecured creditors. So next I am going to write liquidators remuneration. Okay, under this, first he said 3% on all assets realized. So 3% on all assets. So 3% on all assets. Now I have to calculate. So which are all the assets? Yes. Yes, look at 2,40,000 is land and building. 2,40,000 is land and building. Then we have 8 lakh rupees. Plant and machinery, patent, stock, debtors, cash at bank. You should remember one point that, what is that point? That point, while calculating liquidators remuneration, so in under realized asset we should not include cash at bank. So 60,000 remove it, then the rest of the amount we are going to write. So if you remove this 60,000, how much you are going to get? So you can calculate in the calculator. So I have 4 lakh plus 60,000 plus 1,20,000 plus 1,60,000. So that comes to 7,40,000. Or either way you can calculate. Total assets realized value is 8 lakh. Out of which 60,000 is cash at bank, which cannot be included for calculating liquidators remuneration. So 8 lakh minus 60,000. So 7,40,000 is the assets realized. How much? 7,40,000. So let me write 2,40,000 plus 7,40,000. You got to know, right, how 7,40,000 you got it. So now add this 7,40,000 plus 2,40,000. That comes to 9,80,000. That is 9,80,000. So I'm writing 9,80,000 on this 3%. So 3 divided by 100 into 3%. So that comes to 29,400. That comes to 29,400. 400 I have written inner column. Okay. So next is point B. They said 2% on amount distributed among unsecured creditors. 2% on unsecured creditors. Unsecured creditors. So unsecured creditors always includes what? Preferential creditors, correct? So let us calculate on preferential creditors then. Preferential creditors. How much preferential creditors? Preferential creditors, how much? They have given in the problem, correct? See, he said 2% on amount distributed among unsecured creditors. Preferential creditors amounted to rupees 30,000. The last line of the problem. So preferential creditors is 30,000 into 2 divided by 100. So that comes to how much? Calculated 30,000 into 2%. That comes to 600 rupees. So I have written that 600 also. So next is 2% on unsecured creditors. Preferential creditors, we did the calculation. So now we have to calculate 2% on unsecured creditors, how much? So amount available to unsecured creditors we should calculate. Before that we will write, except this I am filling everything. Preferential creditors, how much we should pay to them? Preferential creditors 30,000. So 30,000 rupees we should pay. So I have written that. So then what else we have? Debenture holders. We have a debenture holders. So let me calculate debentures. Debentures. How much debentures in the problem? So debentures is 2 lakh rupees. Correct? Yes, 2 lakh rupees. Debentures 2 lakh rupees. So in the balance sheet he has given interest on outstanding debentures 10,000. So look at the balance sheet in the question. Liability side 5% debentures having floating charge on the all the assets rupees 2 lakh. Then interest on outstanding on the debentures 10,000. So if any outstanding interest is there, that is also we should clear. So interest 10,000 rupees. So outer column 2,10,000 I am clearing entire debenture. 2,10,000. Okay. See, but one more problem is there in this problem. So what is that? 2,10,000 rupees would have been normal cases. Clear? See, this 10,000 rupees is still the previous year. Correct. This outstanding interest is in the previous balance sheet. So here in the problem, they clearly said all the payments were made. All the payments were made on 30th 6 2007. Debenture means they have lended us, who have given us a loan. Clear? To whom we call debentures. Debenture holders are those like who have lent the money to the company. They are called debentures. Clear? That is why debentures means acknowledgement against company's debt we call. So here company have borrowed money and the company clearing its debt. Debenture clear 2 lakh, outstanding interest 10,000 which was previous year has been cleared, and in the adjustment they said all the payments were cleared on 30th 6 2020. That means this year we are clearing 6 months. So do you think one who have lended us, one who have given us a loan, he will leave 6 months interest? No, right? So let us add current year interest. So how to calculate current year interest? If you don't know, open the bracket. 2 lakh rupees is the value of debenture into what is the rate of debenture interest rate? Because in the question he said it is 5% debenture. So then rate of interest is 5%. 5 divided by 100 into outstanding for how many months? 6 months. Why? The payment is clearing on 30th 6. So January to June. So how many months? 6 months. So 6 divided by 12. So now calculate 2 lakh into 5% into 6 divided by 12. So that comes to 5,000 rupees. So that also you should include. So then the total 2 lakh plus 10,000 plus 5,000. So that comes to 2 lakh 15,000. 2 lakh 15,000 rupees. I believe you have understood debenture adjustment. Correct? You have understood, right? So 2,15,000 rupees. So we are done with the debentures. So next we have to calculate unsecured creditors. So we don't know how much unsecured creditors. For that we have to do a working note. Clear? So let us start the working note. Working note. Working note number 1. So that is calculation of unsecured creditors. So for this we have to do total creditors given in the balance sheet. First you take total creditors given in the balance sheet. How much? Check out in the question. In the balance sheet how much they said? In the question check out creditors 2,90,000. Correct? So I am writing 2,90,000. Okay, 2,90,000 less secured on land and building. How much is secured on land and building? They have given in the problem. Check out how much. Did you got that? No. Just read the adjustment part. So somewhere they have given that. Yes. See, after that, the arrears, he said the company's creditors includes a loan of rupees 1 lakh on mortgage on land and building. So that is secured on land and building. How much? 1 lakh rupees. So deduct this 1 lakh. Left out is 1,90,000 rupees. 1,90,000 rupees. Again, you have to check, is there any preferential creditors has been given in the adjustment? Yes, no. Preferential creditors should be deducted. How much preferential creditors they have given in the adjustment? See, last line of the problem, that is unsecured creditors. Preferential creditors amounted to rupees 30,000. So preferential creditors is always part of a creditor. So preferential creditors 30,000 rupees. So deduct. So the balance whatever you will get after deducting this. So that is what we call it as a unsecured creditors. So write unsecured creditors. So I got the value of unsecured creditors rupees 1,60,000. 1,60,000. Okay. So now let us go back to the problem and clear this. Okay. So I have kept pending here. 2% on unsecured creditors. So as per the working note, 1,60,000 is the unsecured creditors. So then 2% on unsecured creditors means 1,60,000 into 2 divided by 100. 2% how much? 1,60,000 into 2%, that comes to 3,200 rupees. How much? 3,200. So we are completed this remuneration part. So now add it and enter it. 29,400 plus 3,200 plus 600 rupees. So liquidators remuneration how much? 33,200 rupees. 33,200. Got it? I believe you have understood. If not, you have to watch it again until you will understand it clearly. Okay, 33,200 rupees we got. So now we are done with that. Next, we have cleared preferential creditors. We have cleared debentures. So after clearing debentures, so we have to clear whom? We have to clear unsecured creditors. So let us clear unsecured creditors. How much unsecured creditors? 1,60,000 rupees. 1,60,000. So I have cleared unsecured creditors 1,60,000 rupees. For this you can refer working note number 1 according to working note number 1. Okay. So next, I told you, right, it might require complete entire sheet also sometimes. So that is why what I have done, this entire sheet kept for the solution and this entire sheet kept for the working note, so other side of the sheet. So next is preference shareholders. We have to pay whom? Preference shareholders. Preference shareholders. So how much we are supposed to pay? We are supposed to pay them 4 lakh rupees. Correct. In the last year balance sheet you can see preference shares of rupees 100 each. So that is 4,006% preference shares. How much? 4,006% preference shares. So you should remember this 6%. 6% preference shares. So after that, immediately in the adjustment, they said the first part only. On the above date, the company went into liquidation. The dividend on preference shares were arrears for 2 years. From past 2 years, they have not received any kind of dividend. And that arrears are payable on liquidation. So that has to be cleared at the time of liquidation. So we have to clear the dividend. So add dividend. Add dividend. So calculating dividend is the share capital amount, preference share capital, into what is the percentage? 6% preference share. So 6 divided by 100 into how many years outstanding? Outstanding for 2 years. Outstanding for 2 years. So now calculate 4 lakh into 6% into 2. So that is how much? 48,000. Correct? 4 lakh into 6% into 2 years. 48,000. So dividend 48,000. So total it and put it to outer column 4,48,000. So I have cleared all the preference shares. Next, the left out amount we should distribute among equity shareholders. Clear? So we have to clear the amount of equity shareholders. So now, to know this amount has to be paid to the equity shareholders. So how much we are going to pay them? So how much for that we should do the working note. Okay, so for that, we have to be bit careful because this working note is bit complicated. Because see, if you calculate on the receipt part is 1,40,000 plus 8 lakh, correct? That's all. So total we have 9,40,000 rupees. So out of 9,40,000, we have a payments 21,800 plus 33,200 plus 30,000 plus we have a payment of 2,15,000 rupees. Correct? We have a payment of 2,15,000, 2,15,000 plus 1,60,000 plus 4,48,000. We have a payment of 9,08,000 rupees. So, but we have a receipt of 9,40,000. 9,40,000 rupees minus, if you do that, we have only 32,000 rupees in hand. So, how much we have a cash? 32,000 rupees. So we have only 32,000 rupees, but whereas we have to clear the equity shareholders amount. So we know that the balance is 32,000 rupees available. So we have only how much left with us? Cash is 32,000. So if how do I got to know 32,000? What I did, I calculated this 1,40,000 plus 8 lakh. So that is how much? 9,40,000. Correct? 9,40,000 amount I have in my hand. So I am writing 9,40,000. Whatever I have to do within this amount. 9,40,000, 9,40,000. Correct. So out of 9,40,000, you deduct one by one expenditure. So 9,40,000 minus 21,800 I have expensed on liquidation expenses minus 33,200 rupees for liquidators remuneration minus 30,000 rupees for preferential creditors, then minus 2,15,000 for debenture holders, 2,15,000 for debenture holders, minus 1,60,000 for unsecured creditors, minus 4,48,000 for preference shareholders. So I have left with me only 32,000 which I have to distribute among equity shareholders. Correct? So within this amount I have to make all the payments. So that is for equity shareholders. So now I have left with 32,000. How do I distribute the money with the 2,000 equity shareholders, one who have paid 75 rupees, then 6,000 equity shareholders, one who have paid 60 rupees. So for that we have to do a working note. So now I am writing working note number 2. Working note number 2. I am doing the second working note. Calculation of the amount to be brought in or paid to the equity shareholders. There are cases where equity shareholders has to bring, that is why brought in or paid to the equity shareholders. Okay, so now let us identify total paid up capital. Total paid up equity share capital. So just check the question in the old balance sheet. 2000 equity shares of rupees 100 each, 75 rupees paid up. So 2000 into 75 paid up how much? 2000 into 75 they have paid. So they have paid 1,50,000 rupees plus 6,000 equity shareholders of rupees 60 paid. That is 3,60,000. So total 5,10,000 rupees is the paid up share capital, equity share capital, 5,10,000. Clear? So how do I got 5,10,000? See, I am writing this 5,10,000. How do I got? So that is 2,000 shareholders has paid 75 rupees and 6,000 shareholders have paid 60 rupees. So if you check 2,000 into 75 how much? 2,000 into 75 is 1,50,000. Correct. Then 6,000 shareholders have paid 60 rupees. 6,000 into 60, 3,60,000. So if you add both, so that is 3,60,000 plus 1,50,000. That comes to 5,10,000 rupees. Total paid up equity share capital is 5,10,000 rupees. So now I got the total paid up equity share capital 5,10,000 rupees. Okay, so if you want, you can make a note here. So which I have shown here, so that you can show it. 2,000 shareholders paid 75 rupees, so that is equals 1,50,000 plus 6,000 shareholders have paid 60 rupees, that is 3,60,000 rupees. So when you add this 1,50,000 plus 3,60,000, that comes to 5,10,000 rupees. Less. Now deduct cash available after paying to preference shareholders. Less cash available after paying to preference shareholders. How much left? Cash available is only 32,000. Correct. How? I have done the calculation. I have written it in pencil. I have only 32,000 which I can distribute among the equity shareholders after settling the preference shareholders. Getting my point? So after the preferential settlement, I have balance of 32,000. So that 32,000 I have written and I am deducting 5,10,000 minus 32,000. That is equals 4,78,000. 4,78,000 rupees. So this is the loss. Clear? Loss to borne by equity shareholders. Loss to be borne by equity shareholders is 4,78,000 rupees. Clear? 4,78,000 rupees is the loss which has to be borne. So next we have to find loss per share. So we have to find loss per share. Clear? So now working note number 3. I am doing working note number 3. Working note number 3. Calculation of loss per share. Calculation of loss per share. So loss per share equals total loss divided by number of shares. Number of shares. So how much is the total loss? 4,78,000 is the loss. 4,78,000 is the loss divided by number of shares. How much? So that is 2,000 plus 6,000. So these are the number of shares. So this 6,000 and 2,000 is the number of shares. So 2,000 plus 6,000, 8,000. So 4,78,000 divided by 8,000. So divided it, 4,78,000 divided by 8,000. So how much we are going to get? We are going to get 59 rupees 75 paise per share. So loss per share, LPS, that is loss per share, is 59 rupees 75 paise. Okay, so now if any shareholders who have paid less than this, he has to bring money and he has to pay to the company. If they have paid more than this amount, so that portion of money will be transferred to that equity shareholders account. I believe we have not understood. So for that, let us do one more working note. Okay, so now I am doing working note number 4. Working note number 4. So what are we calculating? Amount to be received by 2,000 equity shareholders. Amount to be received by 2,000 equity shareholders. Equity shareholders. So now those 2,000 equity shareholders paid how much? Just check out. 2,000 equity shares of rupees 100 each, 75 rupees paid up. How much they have paid? So they have paid 75 rupees. So I'll write here paid up 75 rupees minus loss per share. That is how much? 59.75. 59.75. So I'll write loss per share on the top, LPS. So the difference is how much? Paid up minus LPS. So I'll do one thing. Paid up 75 rupees minus loss per share is 59.75. Okay, loss per share, that is the difference is 75 minus 59.75. 15.25. Difference is 15 rupees 25 paise into how many shares? How many shares? So 2,000 shares, 75 paid up. So 2,000 shares. 2,000 shares. So how much that comes to calculate? In the next line and write 15.25 into 2,000. 15.25 into 2,000. 30,500. 30,500. So this is amount to be received by 2,000 equity shareholders. So next is amount to be received by another shareholders. How many? 6,000 shareholders. 6,000 shareholders, equity shareholders. Equity shareholders, 6,000 equity shareholders. Correct. So now for this you have to do the same calculation. So that is paid up less loss per share. Loss per share. So how much paid up? Paid up is 60 rupees minus loss per share is 59 rupees 75 paise. So that comes to difference 60 minus 59.75, that comes to 0.25 into number of shares. So how many shares? That is, they are 6,000 shares. Correct. So number of shares is 6,000 shares. So 6,000. So how much amount you will get? 0.25 into 6,000. So that is 1,500 rupees. So this is distributed among 6,000 equity shareholders. Clear? So now if you total it, you should get the balance available to equity shareholders. So that is 30,500 plus 1,500, that is equals to 32,000 rupees, which is amount available to distribute among equity shareholders. Clear? So that is what in the problem we have 32,000 rupees. Clear? So that is we have here in 32,000 rupees. So now let us settle the equity shareholders. So I'm writing here, next is equity shareholders. Equity shareholders. Equity shareholders. So for 2,000 shareholders, we are paying on the basis of this working note 15.25. How much we are paying? 15.25. So 2,000 into 15.25. So that is 2,000 into 15.25, 30,500. 30,500 we got. Clear? So the same way 6,000 shareholders is getting 0.25, 25 paise. 6,000 into 0.25 is 1,500 rupees. 1,500. Total this 30,500 plus 1,500 is 32,000 rupees. 32,000. So if you total both the side, you will get 9,40,000. 9,40,000. Okay, both the side you are going to get 9,40,000 and 9,40,000. So this is what I was telling. So this is bit advanced than the previous problems which you have solved. Okay, so I'm closing this table. So we are done with the solution part. You will have more clarity. I have recorded all the assets realized. That's all. So then I have recorded all the payments which we have made. Clear? All the payments which we have made. So you can just have a glance on this. So this took entire page for preparing the liquidator's final statement. Okay, and this page I have utilized for working note purpose. So you can see the entire page has been utilized for the working note purpose. So henceforth, whichever the problem comes, this kind of working note we are going to calculate, which we are going to apply. So you have to practice this problem 2 to 3 times so that you will get clarity and you will get understanding of this problem. So then if you have any doubts, as usual, reach me out over a call or message over WhatsApp. Not an issue, but don't keep the doubts in your mind and don't carry that doubt into further problems. Okay, so I'll stop here. So I'll come back with one more video very shortly. So with one question paper problem, I believe from my next video I'm going to start the question paper problem. So be prepared for that and practice this problem 2 to 3 times so that you will get better understanding. Okay, so watch again and again until you will get understand. Okay, so take care, see you soon, bye bye, and stay safe. I'll be back with question paper problem very soon. Bye bye.